All right. Hey, what's going on, YouTube? It's your boy Steve. Uh, just want to come bring to you another video. Um, some things I've been seeing in the headlines that I want to talk about real quick. Uh, if you all may know, if you've been watching the headlines, you've been seeing what's going on. It's nothing out of the ordinary. Same things keep happening. Uh, First, before I start the video, I want to sincerely, send my thoughts, my prayers, my sincere love and prayers to the families. The two men I'm getting ready to talk about. One is Jemel Robinson. I want to say I'm praying for that family. I'm sorry for your loss. The other young man, Emantic Fitzgerald, Bradford Jr. I want to say I'm sincerely sorry for what happened, and I'm praying you guys find love. I'm praying that you find peace in this time and healing. And it's unfortunate what happens, but I want you to know that I'm praying for you. I want to talk about those young men that were taken over the past few weeks. Mr. Bradford. The story happened a few days ago, Thanksgiving. Uh, Another case of officer having identified the wrong suspect, and young man lost his life, man. And dude, it's why? What's going on? I don't understand, man. I really don't understand because looking at the news and what happened that day, they got reports of a shooter, active shooter. Cop arrive on the scene. He sees a man with a gun. So he automatically assumes that he's the shooter. So I went and looked at the news story on this story, and the news reporter, was elaborating on what happened, and she was saying that there were multiple people, multiple shoppers there that had drawn their weapons. But unfortunately, Mr. Bradford was supposed to be identified by the cop as the suspect, and he lost his life. I don't understand, dude. This is getting. You try and save a life, lose your life. Young man, good young man. He was an army. He was in the army. He was a good young man. Looking at the family news press conference, he was described. He was a great young man. You could see how they described the young man. He wasn't in any trouble of anything, but that's beside the point. He was trying to save. If when you go back and hear the story, he was. There were two other people that were shot, 18-year-old and I think a 12-year-old, and that guy that did the shooting got away, but the cops. And here's the part: the cops said he seen somebody with the gun, and he just took action. Wasn't no plea to put the gun down. Didn't ask what was going on. I'm pretty sure he didn't bother to ask questions. And I know it's, some people might say, well, it's in that moment, it's a traumatic event. You have to do what you have to do. So that's what they're teaching the cops. Just go ahead and do what you have to do, huh? So, and not only a day later, they come back and say that that stories might not be entirely accurate. You kidding me, dude? You kidding me? This young man, now that they're saying that he was actually stopping the shooter who actually fired the first shots. He was stopping him. He was stopping him, and he lost his life. And then we go to the Jemel Robinson's case. Young man on the job, security guard, at I believe it was a club, a bar. I believe it was a bar. Doing his job, guy comes in there with a weapon. He take action, takes the guy down, does what he's supposed to do. Takes the guy down with no weapons. Takes the guy down with no shot without shooting any shots. Got his knee on his back. He's down. He's detained. We got the officer come in, sees a guy with a gun, starts shooting. Doesn't ask questions, doesn't ask what's going on. After being told by multiple witnesses that he works there, he's a security. He still shoots him. Do I get tired of seeing these stories, man? Get tired of seeing these stories, man. Try to save a life, you lose your life. Other guy dedicates his life to this country, comes back, save a life, save 2 lives at the mall, tries to save some lives, ended up losing his life. Will it ever end? Is the question. Will it ever end? Will it ever end? And that's just 2 stories that I'm talking about just this year. I've heard of even more stories this year alone. Young man lost their lives. And we heard, I believe it was another story, I don't know. I'll have to I'll have to look for it, and I might put a link in there. I also put a link to these stories in the description. Come on. So the cops are trained. I mean, I don't know what else. You run from the cops, you get shot. You perceived as a threat. I believe there was a story a while back where the therapist he was tending to his patient, hands and feet on the ground, laid on the ground, and he was still shot. He was still shot. There are only 37 million black people in this country. 37 million. I believe the other 196 million portion is Caucasian. But yet, all of these shootings involving police officers are black people. We're only 37 freaking million people in this country. Lord. Will it ever end, man? So that's where we're at in America, 2018. And we are migrants fighting to come here. Come here. To come over here. The American dream, the American life. Fighting to come to this. I mean, what else? What else? What else can you? What else? So if you're a black man and you see something going on, do you just say, "Hey, it's none of my business. Walk away. I value my life," or you just say, "Try to do what I can to save a life." But there's a possibility, you know. Yeah. And there's not a lot of people talking about these stories. Uh, you know, I really don't see too many people of the Caucasian complexion. They don't talk about this story. They won't talk about this because it's just another, case of, well, who was he? What did he do? What was his past like? What trouble was he in? And all of that, and that's what they make the story be about. I pray and I pray and I ask God why. Uh, I pray and I ask why. Why? I mean, we're only 37 million people, yet we're at the top of the list when it comes to police shootings. So I'm gonna continue praying for both of these families, and I'm gonna continue talking about this. Continue talking about. Just don't know what can be done. I mean, I just don't know. So, anyways, man, yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about, man. So I just don't see America. I just don't see. I don't see this country lasting any longer. Something's gonna give. Something has to give. Something will give. I just you know this keep happening. Day after day, uh, without any backlash or not talking about you know as as an African American, I feel it. I feel it because I'm black. That could have easily been me or anybody else that I care about. So I try to talk to guys I know anytime when it comes to guns or anything of dealing with the police on how to behave themselves, man, because it's very important. Uh, but then you have times like this where you guys doing this job. Sorry about that, y'all. Guys doing his job saves lives in the process. Not only is he doing his job, but he's saving lives. Still gets shot by the police. Yeah, it hurts your soul, man. I just see America. I don't see this country lasting too long. It's going to give, and I feel God is going to judge this country real soon. It's going to be something that's beyond belief, but because not only is it happening, but nobody is saying anything anymore. News stations, they talk about it, but they make it out of a race issue. You know, they make it out of a race issue, or they start to dig into the victim's past and stuff. It's pretty unfortunate, man. Unfortunate for the person and unfortunate for the family, man. But time to wake up is over. I just feel God is going to judge this country real soon, and I feel like it's going to be something that's unstoppable. So, man, I'm just continue to pray, and to try to do what I can to try to bring awareness on how to handle certain situations like this. Uh, you know, man, it's unfortunate. So I appreciate you guys watching, man, and feel free to get in the comments. Feel free to elaborate. If you have any thoughts of anything I've said that you want to talk about further, or you'd like me to get on here and talk about something deeper aspect of it, man, feel free. If you disagree with this video, feel free to still comment. I want to hear both sides, because we all need to talk. We're all in this, it's not just us, people of color. We're all in this, We all have a part to play. So, man, thank you. Thank you for watching. You have a blessed day, man. Thank you.